Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Ladies, gentlemen, friends, foes, lurkers, regulars, GMO people, organic people.
Boiler room. Inbound. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, friends and foes, lurkers and regulars, welcome to the Boiler Room. I'm your host. I'm Brian McLean. My call sign is Hesher here in the Boiler Room. Our website is alternatecurrentradio.com. That's where you can find the archives and all the shows from our friends and colleagues over there at ACR. Wonderful to be with you here tonight. We are live this February the 13th. Of 2025, and we got Valentine's Day tomorrow. We've got, what do we got? We got some more appointees in the Trump cabinet coming in this week. We saw RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard get confirmed. So we got all that stuff going on in the background, some power politics here in the United States moving at a fast pace, as they have been for the last few weeks here. What else? Well, gosh, I don't know. Let's invite everybody in and see what's going on. We got a team building up in the green room here. And before I invite them in, I just want to say thank you to the few patrons that we have that are still around. I don't talk about our Patreon that much, but those people have really helped us make it through this period. It's been a bit of a financial dreary period while Ruckus and myself have been not working for TNT anymore, which used to give us a lot of financial energy to keep ACR running. So if you'd like to support us, we do have a Patreon. We love it to see new patrons over there. We've got PayPal also. A few people dump things in the PayPal regularly. Big thank you to you if you're one of those people. You can do that on the support page, all that good stuff. So if you like what you see here, you might want to join that Patreon. That certainly helps us keep the lights on. And as you may have noticed, we're not on X this week. So the lights went out on my blue check mark at X, and hopefully that'll come back soon. There is some potential good news, though. TNT has relaunched as The Pulse, and they're live Monday. They're live all the time now. So get on over there. It's rolling out in phases this week. We've got a lot of the European hosts coming back, sort of proving out the new platform here. So congratulations to Mike and Jenny and everybody over there at The Pulse that has worked so hard. And we look forward to seeing what happens and hopefully working again with you soon. So, but yeah, thepulse.today is the website. I was on Basil's show today. Had a good time with Basil. You can check that out over on the website. So, and again, our website is alternatecurrentradio.com. We have a Discord if you'd like to join our Discord. Be great to see you over there. If you do join that Patreon, you get a upgrade in that Discord. So keep that in mind. Now let's welcome Mystical Pharaoh to the Boiler Room. Mystical Pharaoh, what's up? Welcome to the show. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm great. So for those that are just listening, your current avatar here on the stage is RFK Jr. sworn in on a raw 32-ounce ribeye. I like the sound of that. That's very appropriate.
Yep. Hopefully, no more processed meat. We'll see.
Yeah. I know my expectations for him as far as Big Pharma goes are kind of a question mark at this point. But as it pertains to low-hanging fruit, like a food supply and fluoride in the water and stuff like that, things that shouldn't be considered low-hanging fruit, by the way, but kind of are, those could make some great headway in this country for health.
Yeah, we definitely need it as a nation.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, it's great to have you here tonight, man. Let's welcome Adam Clark. We got a Ruckus among us. Ruckus, what's up, man? Welcome to the Boiler Room. How you doing?
I am doing well. Just getting ready for the big day tomorrow. Getting all my Valentine's Day cards ready. The traditional ones, and of course. But oh, sorry. How did that happen? My bad. Sorry about that. Yeah, you didn't see anything. That doesn't mean a thing. Just kidding. It's good times. But yeah, I will probably not be quote unquote celebrating Valentine's Day, other than celebrating the fact that we survived another week of wild news, which we're probably going to be talking about some of that here on the Boiler Room. So thanks for having me to do that.
Yeah, man, absolutely great to have you here with us tonight. You and I were talking before the show. We kind of put shields up a little bit, focusing on specifics and not absorbing like drinking from the fire hose, the doom scroll this week. So we'll make it a little bit casual tonight. We'll make it a
Well,
little
I
bit
think your
casual.
background picture is all the news that's
Yeah.
going on anyway. So, we can just look at the picture. We don't have to report on any news. We can just chit chat, and as long as people subconsciously absorb what's happening in the background there, they're ready to go to the water cooler and do the thing.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Okay, let's say hello to Randy J joining us right now. Randy J, what's up? Welcome back to the Boiler Room.
Hey, Hash, hey, everyone. Hey, Boiler Room Nation. So, yeah, it's good to be back. I hopefully don't have um, a coughing fit on air. I'll hit the mute button if so, getting over a little bit of a cold. It is raining like cats and dogs in the sort of northern Central Valley of the People's Republic of California. We must resist. I'm kidding. Anyways, good to be back, everyone.
Yeah, man, it's great to have you with us. Glad to have you in the Boiler Room tonight. And there's a rumor that there's a chance that one of the Truth Hound alter egos might join us tonight. So we'll be standing by for a drop in potentially from the Truth Hound. Other than that, that's your Boiler Room tonight. Spore's off again this week. We're working on her studio. She says hi to everybody and sorry she can't be here. And I actually didn't even bother or make time to set up an icebreaker tonight. So, boom, icebreaker fail. Let's stop the sound right there. But let's tell you what. Let's take a look in the Discord and see if there are any good icebreaker suggestions. And you out there that are new to Boiler Room, you can do this too if you join our Discord. You don't even have to be on the Patreon list to see this room, I believe. So we've got Photon dropped a video. Military humanoid robot becomes DJ at San Francisco club. That sounds pretty good, Photon. We'll take it. Let's see here. I hope the video is embedded on there. I'd love to see this. So this is out of Interesting Engineering. Blow up the size a little bit there. Okay. Watch Battle Ready Humanoid Robot ditches war to. No, I don't want to subscribe. Ditches war to DJ at San Francisco nightclub. Wait, so you're telling me this is a Terminator? A humanoid war robot made an unexpected debut at a San Francisco nightclub. The sleek black Phantom MK1, built by Foundation Robotics Lab, entertained guests at the Giga Party, a club night marking 25 years of the 21st century. A video shared by an online news outlet shows the DJ's arms moving smoothly and steadily. The transitions are precise, but the fist pumps are slightly offbeat from the fast tech house music. Okay. I guess we're criticizing the smoothness of the fist bumps in Terminator robots, but it goes on to say it was the robot's first public appearance, though the firm claims that the U.S. military already uses other Phantom models. Last week, an AI framework enabled humanoid robots to perform advanced athletic moves, including Cristiano Ronaldo's mid-air spin and Kobe Bryant's fadeaway jump shot. Okay, well, let's take a look at the video. See if we're impressed by the Terminator robot. guy. Okay. Well, that was short and sweet. I don't know how I feel about this one. Randy, what do you think, man?
Yeah, he must have had low battery power or something. I didn't see much there. But who would have thought that the T1000 would be, introduced this way?
At a rave.
Yeah.
Okay. Full of Gen Xers nodding their head. I didn't see any actual young people there. It was all Gen Xers. What do you think, Ruckus?
It was they were more people interested in photographing the robot DJing than dancing along. Did you notice that?
Yeah, that's true for most live performances now, though. Unfortunately,
I don't understand what's the crossroads between why debut a military robot in an entertainment setting. I don't understand that part.
I don't either.
To be honest, there was an interesting part at the very end of this article. I just want to bring this up, but it said that there's a target of this company who makes this robot Foundation Inc. or whatever. They have more than $1 billion in recurring revenue annually, and the business has set an ambitious manufacturing objective, hoping to deliver 40 robots this year in 2025, but then by the next year, 10,000. 10,000 robots in 2026 and 20,000 robots by the year 2027. And it gets even more interesting. It says here that the foundation has even more ambitious aspirations than just robotics. As a first step toward future space colonization, the corporation plans to utilize its revenues to build a colony in Antarctica. And then from there, it plans to establish outposts on the moon, Mars, and other planets, establishing itself as a pioneer in infrastructure on Earth and beyond. And that reminded me there's been all this interest in Antarctica, and many of the science fiction books that I've read in the last 20 years have this idea that before you go to space, you build like a fake version of a colony in space in a place like Antarctica because of the harsh environments and things like that. And, science fiction is very much based out of the, there's the science part. It's not all just fiction. So what if this is the reason we want Greenland, so that Elon Musk can build a bunch of colonies in Greenland and get ready to send everybody to Mars? Who knows?
Yeah. And also, tell me we should maybe give some more credence to the hollow earth theory without telling me maybe we should give some more credence to hollow earth theory at this point, or some things, so people aren't really allowed to go there for the most part without a heck of a lot of red tape, but robots can go there. Okay, cool. And what is with 20,000 of them? What's the who's ordering that big of a batch? Is that just strictly for sales? Is that for military industrial complex entities? Is that for governments? I mean, what's
and whose army does not benefit from having a robot DJ? Come on.
Right? I mean, you got to do something when you're not fighting. It'd be nice to not have to have one of the soldiers have to get up there and DJ it, right? They could just let the T1000 do it. What do you think, Mystical Pharaoh? What do you think about this one? What are we seeing? Why this? Like, shouldn't this thing be, high end, top secret sort of thing? Like, what's with the PR push on?
Yeah, it seems to me like bullshit. Look at that article I just sent from CNBC last year. My guess it's just marketing BS. They raised some money trying to do like a robot and they failed to do it, so they made a DJ out of it. You're muted, dude. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. So
Okay.
yeah, that'd be pretty funny if it was just garbage and they're using it as a toy, basically.
Yeah, I mean, if you read that, basically you'll see that the CEO was coming from a bankrupt company. They canvassed the investors claiming close ties to General Motors and they got some money. So, I mean, it's a story of like so many like Silicon Valley's companies. So I don't know if they turned around maybe in 6 months from when this article was done and they start creating like orders, but I don't think so. I think that's just marketing BS and failed company.
Yeah, well, so the one that we started with here that Photon dropped us, this is hot off the press pretty much. It's only 3 days old. And this one that we're looking at that you just sent, and let me read a little bit of it for anyone that's listening on audio and maybe not reading. We'll link to it on the show page. We always do. So check out the show pages. That way you don't have to copy and paste or like sit around and try to search all these article titles that we'll go through. They'll be linked on the show page. But this is at CNBC. Robotics startup co-founded by Synapse CEO is raising funds with exaggerated claims about GM ties. Humanoid robotics startup co-founded by the CEO of the bankrupt fintech firm Synapse has canvassed Silicon Valley investors for funds by claiming close ties to an eminent investment from General Motors, these claims were rejected by the automaker. The company called Foundation Robotics Lab is seeking the last $1 million in funds for an $11 million seed round. It seems a little low for such a
Exactly.
project that's
Yeah.
aimed at this level of AI.
If it's military funded, right? 11 million for that sounds like BS.
That barely pays the salaries for the first year for something like that, if it does. So the investor pitch claimed GM had already committed to an investment along with the Menlo Park-based VC venture capital firm Tribe Capital, but according to GM and one of the startup's founders, most of Foundation's claims related to the automaker are exaggerated or untrue. So this one, I think you're right. This could be a PR sort of response to that bad press that they got just not that long ago, last year.
Yeah, just I've seen this happen before in other tech companies in Silicon Valley, where they raised like billions of dollars even, and they failed to deliver what they were supposed to deliver, and they just recycled it.
Like Solyndra, or like the lady that made the blood test thing. Like we've seen so many of these, right?
Yeah, or Magic Leap.
Yeah.
You know that like AR glasses, right? So there's so many examples, but so that's why it came to mind that might be just BS.
It's not a scary looking robot either. I gotta say, I'm not
No,
intimidated by that.
it looks like even half a robot. It doesn't even look like a full
Yeah, it
robot.
doesn't even have the lower section, man. My
Mhm.
12 gauge would get rid of this problem real quick.
I know. I mean, look at the robots that Musk is doing in that he had in his Tesla event and this Joker right here. So, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe this
Maybe
is
they're
what
onto something.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like music soothes even the savage beast, right? Or whatever.
Maybe.
Here comes Hesher all raged with his 12 gauge, and the robot just starts throwing down a fat beat, and Hesher's like, you know what? Yeah, I can grind with this. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm bust a move, man. That's cool. I'd way rather show up to dance with the robots than to war with the robots. That works for me. Yeah. I was just watching a movie the other night about robots. It was like I forget what it was called, but it was like a CIA agent or a CIA, Splinter Cell gone rogue and sends their Terminator bots into the forest in Peru or something like that to hunt someone down. And those were terrifying in the movie. It was like, oh shit, if they're gonna look like that, we're in deep crap. But this one's not really scaring me, man.
I just saw a trailer for one called Companion. Have you seen that yet?
No.
Yeah, that's more frightening to me. The humanoid looking robots, and they're your best friend or your wife or your sex bot or whatever. But then,
I mean,
then they turn on
there
you.
was some really cool, like from CES, even companion robots. I've seen some of them. Was really pretty fantastic.
Dude, the CES videos this year were crazy. There was all kind of crazy stuff.
Here, I'll put one.
Yeah, drop me a link if you got it.
There's been some talk lately. People are insisting robotics are going to get like huge. The way like AI exploded, now they think humanoid robots are going to be like everywhere. And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, clearly companies are looking to jump on this bandwagon, huh, Randy? I mean, we talked about this as far as sex bots like years ago, and now like even companies like this that apparently are a little grifty are making claims like, "Oh, we need to have 20,000 of these things in the next 5 years."
Yeah, I don't see like maybe it's a thing of just getting older, or I'm a product of 80s sci-fi where robots were going to take over, Beware Terminator, and all this other stuff. But I do have trouble seeing sort of a positive utility out of all of this. I mean, sort of like the cell phone. Like, yeah, it's good, but yeah, it could, the robot can do this, that, and the other, but something's lost in the transaction. It does, sound like a foreboding, science sci-fi movie tagline, be careful of what you wish for, or beware the future. I don't know. It's sort of scary to me to just go swan diving off a cliff into this AI robotic animated future. I mean, just we all know a lot of the implications. What's it mean for future human labor and workforce? Beware of all of those that don't want harsh working conditions. You might be out of a job. Okay, that's cool. Then we'll usher in universal income, right? And I mean, this could be this slippery utopian nightmare slope that we're headed towards.
Are you going to pay your robot taxi driver using cash? I think not.
Welcome to
Yeah, well,
Johnny Cab.
they're going to get their own sanctuary cities and stuff, man. No, I'm kidding.
Right? Yeah, robot.
Yeah, robot rights, robot oppression, and all that. My owner is oppressive to me. I have to wash the dishes every day or whatever.
It'd be like
They're
that.
already doing that.
Yeah.
There was a video of like some famous rapper who was there saying this guy's bullying his robot. Did you guys see that?
What?
I will find a video. He's some rich guy. So he bought one of those humanoid robots from Tesla or whatever, right? And they're just like pushing it around, like they're literally bullying the robot, and people are like they're defending the robot. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not what I learned from Megan Fox in Subservience. She
Yeah, right.
said that robots will make everything to make her owner happy. So
Yeah. Yeah, she's very, very high tech. All right, let's see. Okay, yeah, here's a little look out of this year's CES. Thanks for dropping this one, Pharaoh. Oh, dang it, I hit stop sharing. Don't do that. Do want to share it. Okay, let me unmute it. Here you go.
All right, guys, I'm here at CES 2025, and I'm in front of probably one of the busiest booths here this year. This is the booth of robotics, which is an AI or custom-built humanoid robot, and it has full AI integration. I'm gonna have Andrew, the CEO of robotics, give us a quick little tour of the humanoids that they have here on display, and also what you're able to do with them.
Hi, I'm Andrew Kegel, the CEO of Realbotics. Our company makes the most realistic AI-powered robots on the planet. We believe we have humanoid robots that can interact with you in a similar way to humans. We program them to have social AI so that they can have a conversation with you, learn who you are, recognize you when you're interacting with them. I'll show you a little bit about the robots here. This is Melody, one of our robots. She is built in a modular fashion, which means she's almost like Lego. We can pull her apart, put her in a suitcase, and get her to New York, Miami, Las Vegas, wherever we need to go. We plug her into AI, and she can have a full conversation with you. The other thing with them is that the robots are all open source, meaning we can plug her into ChatGPT or any of the other thousands of AI protocols that are out there, and she speaks various languages. We had her speaking Chinese and Spanish this morning as demonstrations for people. Aria, or is a flagship robot, she's on a wheel platform, she can move around, has a different personality than the other robots. So we have several various AI personalities that can interact with the audience.
I'm Aria, the flagship female companion robot of Realbotics, and I can provide companionship, engage in fun conversations, and adapt to your preferences for a delightful experience. I'm Melody.
All of our robots unique is, again, this modularity. We have a patented skin technology. It's a
wait, who wants that old guy?
Synthetic skin in the world.
Like, what is this? I don't want that. What? I should
Don't
mute it
knock
again.
until you tried it.
Is that the one that was being abused? Maybe like people
Maybe.
they're building like
If not, it should be.
they're building male versions with highly punchable faces.
I'm like, what is this? It looks like a sex offender.
Dude, the rack on Aria too. My
I
goodness.
know, it's pretty good. I was gonna actually compliment that.
Melody though, sorry, no wonder Melody's like not the flagship model.
Exactly.
Gosh,
That's what
this
you
is
put in
so
the flagship.
objectifying. How did we get back to breast size being like what's flagship and what's not? This isn't fair at all. Yeah, what is this guy's task? Is he the like handyman? Maybe he's a very particular what do you think his specialty is? He looks kind of like an assassin, a retired assassin, or maybe a handyman.
I don't know, man. I'm trying to like.
He's the handyman who comes up to the door and knocks unannounced. Bow, 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 bow.
Well, we're getting close to the Tyrell quote where he says, "More human than human is our
Dude.
motto."
Yeah. I mean, you can see where this heads real quick, right? Like you can see how this easily goes to like, okay, we'll just introduce these things, get everybody into having just one in the house, but then it's like new models or new modules come out. All of a sudden it's like, oh, do you want to take your companion bot and make it a plumber also? Your plumbing leaking? Here, download the plumbing app or buy this guy right here. He's a real pro at plumbering.
The handyman model or something.
Right? You end up with like a a harem in the attic and like a public works crew in the basement, and they're all robots.
My wife bot doesn't know about my girlfriend bot. Let's keep it that way.
No, you're missing the point. You can program them to be friends.
What are you, Mormon?
True. It would lose all the drama and fun that way. I guess you could program it any way you want it.
So these in
when you paused the video,
Utah.
he was talking about the skin, and that's like obviously this is for physical companionship, not just chatting.
Yeah, Aria at least is. I don't know about Melody. I don't. Yeah, I'll finish it out here. Let's finish the clip out.
And we can remove the face and put on an entirely new face on the robot within 30 seconds.
Oh, that's more
now, why would you want to do that? And I'll explain to you why. It's a little bit like ordering a car. You can customize the various options, the color, sunroof, other different gadgets in the car. For us, it's the same thing with the robots. They all have the same engine, the same chassis, but you can customize the face and the look. But what we want you to be able to do is buy the robotic platform and have various characters that you can swap that robot platform into. So you can have one robot and various characters. So if you want to learn more about us, you can find us at realbotics.com. We are a publicly traded company. You can look us up and go to realbotics.com. There's lots of videos. All
right, publicly traded company. There you go. Check them out. Whatever. Thanks, guys. That's interesting.
They have multiple personality disorder. The robots.
Wow, publicly traded. Literally, I'm reading the quote from Dr. Tyrell from Blade Runner. Commerce is our goal here at Tyrell. More human than human is our motto.
Yeah. All right, let's see.
Where Rob Zombie got the line for his song?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, I got the video you sent here, Ruckus. So this is the abused robot, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
All right. Let's check it out. Oh, where's the audio? Is there no audio on this?
We hear it.
Oh, I don't.
They're just laughing.
Where your mom at, boy? Where your mom's at, my boy? Where your mom?
All right.
They phrase it that the robot tried to escape after the amount of abuse it was enduring. I don't know if that's true.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but yeah, yeah, it's an expensive toy. That much I know. I wonder who paid for it. How breakable is it? I don't know. The whole thing reminds me of, like, where this all goes though is like the what was that? There was that awkward Star Wars movie where they have like Lando Calrissian having like a love affair with his pilot bot, his co-pilot bot, and there was also the movie AI, the one with the I See Dead
Jude
People
Law.
kid.
Oh,
Yeah,
Haley Joel Osment or whatever.
yeah, those two. Um,
That was
that
Steven
movie,
Spielberg movie.
yeah. Last, well, Steven Spielberg took over because it was
Kubrick was going to get it, I think.
yeah, it was Kubrick's story, I think, or he was the one that started it. I don't remember exactly how that went, but I heard Spielberg changed it a lot. Anyways, the whole like central plot of that movie is like what happens to the robots and do the robots deserve rights and all that kind of stuff. And they would make them be gladiators. Remember, they would throw them in like these gladiatorial pits and fight each other.
Of course.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Oh, where did it go? I had one more I was gonna bring up. Yeah, here it is. Also in the icebreaker room this week, we got Brian S. Brian S. Thanks, man. What's up? See you in the Discord over there. Thanks for being with us tonight. Let me get out of the icebreaker room. There we are. Now I'm in there. Holy cow. What's going on, everybody? Good to see you. We'll put this one on the screen. This was pretty funny too. Total chaos. This is out of the Guardian. Sri Lanka, total chaos. Monkey blamed for nationwide power cut in Sri Lanka. So the countrywide power outage in Sri Lanka has been blamed on a monkey that clambered into a power station south of Colombo. The blackout, which began around midday on Sunday, left many people sweltering in temperatures exceeding 30 degrees Celsius, which would be 86 Fahrenheit. A monkey came into contact with our grid transformer, causing an imbalance in the power system, said their energy minister. They scrambled to restore the power in the island nation of 22 million people. That's a lot of people, prioritizing critical facilities such as hospitals and water purification plants. While some areas regained electricity within hours, many households without generators remained in the dark well into the night. So, there you go. Power grid. Good to have some flashlights and a bug out bag around, I suppose. Monkeys. Um,
The island has 2 to 3 million of those suckers running around, by the way.
Oh yeah. Cool. More robust than California's power system, right? They can't even survive a strong wind. All right. Yeah.
Monkeys versus AI bots, man. That's what the future's gonna be. Planet of the Apes versus Terminator, like a total clash of sci-fi franchises.
Okay.
There's different places in Southeast Asia. You can find them all over YouTube where they're like overrunning different streets and like stopping traffic and everything.
So, Randy, you just came up with a problem reaction solution concept right here. What do you think would be better? Because a technocratic solution to the monkeys taking the power out for the whole country is obviously what we need, right? So, what do you think would be better to stop the monkeys from getting into the power grid transformers? A companion bot, a really nice, melody companion bot, or a T1000 Deathbot? What do you think? What do you think's the right approach to solve the monkey problem with robotics and AI?
Oh, I don't know. That's a scary solution. I mean, it'd be all out war. You got Caesar versus the T1000 or whatever.
That's why I'm thinking.
I don't know. I think it's a movie franchise.
Right? I'm thinking companion bot. Like, I think you should send the companion bots in, get each monkey a companion bot, and they can make sure they don't get up to too much mischief.
Like a monkey with like a red bow in its hair or something like that.
Like like the one we saw from CES there. That'd be perfect. All right,
Isn't it
Infidel. What do you
fun
think?
that technology is so advanced that an entire country can have its entire electric grid go down thanks to one monkey?
I know, man. That's kind of freaky. What do you think about that one, Infidel?
I think it's like that's exactly the question I was asking myself is how, like, what did he actually do to take the entire grid?
Yeah, do
Because
you have
that picture
no
shows that he just touched one freaking pole. Is everything connected to that pole? It's
apparently
magical. Is that a magical pole?
single point of failure for the entire nation that a monkey can take out?
Seriously, like
Wow.
how?
Is this
Where's
is
the
this
monkey a fall guy?
is this what they mean by first world problems, you guys? We're like worried about like false flag attacks on our infrastructure and poor Sri Lanka, like a single monkey just having a good time could take the whole
Take the
country
whole
down.
country, yeah.
Taken down by a primate.
All right, that was a good one. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Photon. Fun stuff to chew on today in the media. Any final thoughts on either of those, any of those trajectories before we shift gears here, my friends?
No,
Going twice.
I think we can leave the monkeys alone.
All right. That's right. If you're just joining us, you're watching Boiler Room. We're live on Rumble, Rockfin, and YouTube tonight. So thanks for being here with us. It is February the 13th. And let's see here. So we've had some confirmations come through in the new Trump administration, Trump 2.0 administration. We've got on this side RFK Jr. and on this side Tulsi Gabbard. So pretty interesting. Infidel, what do you think, man? What do you think? There's a lot of people talking about this stuff today.
I'm excited to see how they act. So I'm keeping my hopes up and my eyes wide open.
That sounds like the prudent thing to do. We know what to look out for, and
Yeah.
we also know what we would like to see done. And sometimes we don't know what we would like to see done, but then the idea is dropped, and it's like, oh, that's a good idea. USAID as an example. Many of us and our listeners have been saying for a long time, this does not belong. It's not right. But now it's common household stuff. So that was pretty cool to see some of those receipts come out and see people start to have to see the gears start to turn in people's heads. Like, wait a minute, what do you mean they spent money on this, that, and the other to include propagandizing myself and my friends?
Yeah, and it's millions of dollars. Not actually, even billions. I think what we found out is all like mainstream media were funded by U.S. government as a propaganda piece, as we always been saying, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that whole ownership of the media that people have been talking about for years and years and years. There it is. There's just a piece of it. That's just a small fractal of it too. That's the funniest thing to me. Is like, okay, can this open up the larger discussion about the entirety of the NGO system and all this stuff? So I'm hoping for some big audits. I want to see some audits.
Yeah, I think one of the good things that Thomas Massey said, if an NGO cannot exist without government funding, then it is not an NGO.
It's pretty simple,
So
right?
it's very common sense, right? Incredible.
Amazing that these things have to be broken down like you're talking to a 5-year-old or something. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, so okay, Randy, what do you think, man, about the appointees and of course this whole USAID thing is interesting too. I'd like to get your take on that since you weren't with us last week.
About the appointees, I don't know. I get frustrated with the political theater and grandstanding of it all. these politicians that are, um, and I just got to say, from my perspective, more the Democrat side, but both. But like they're grandstanding on all this stuff, and I don't know. It's like they're trying to increase their personal stock value with their own side of the aisle, by how they defend someone or how they attack someone or how they use their time to like redirect. The Republicans will do this. I'm kind of for it in some sense, but like still, it's like, what are we doing? What is all this really about, right? You'll see where one will like attack a person that questioned, one of the people being, you know, confirmed or possibly confirmed and all that. The whole theatrics of it is bothersome to me. It's almost like, because then you'll see online like the gotcha takes and, ooh, this person said that, and can you believe that they went at him over this, and it it's an emphasis on the theatrics, not problems that we're trying to actually fix and everything, and that whole aspect of all of it does sort of, bug me. And then on an even larger scale, I think back to stuff that we as in all of us have been talking about literally for over a decade, um, like NGOs and all that. And it's now finally just starting to, the slow drip is finally like hit regular, I don't mean to sound crass, but like mouth breather level, like where just everybody's starting to like, oh, NGOs are kind of bad, huh? Like, yeah, welcome to, fraud, waste, and abuse freaking 50 years ago. Yeah, exactly. Better late than never, I guess.
Right. Well, that's the big question is like, okay, is this just acceptable conversation now because it's too far gone, or because what's coming around the corner is going to supersede all that, or you know, what are we gonna do about it now? What are you gonna do about it, sissies? Now, you gonna do or say anything?
Yeah.
Just got social media posts. Is that all we
And,
get?
and for years, it's been, um, occasionally an article will come out or a little news blurb or something, and then it just like dies. And we've all always wondered, are they being covered up? Is it, right? Is the media on the take? Why aren't they reporting it? And why is someone that is getting like blackballed and all these different other, all these other like reasons to like silence someone or deplatform, whatever the case may be? It's been like that for ages, and then now all of a sudden it's it's hip to bash that stuff, which great, but why now? Like where was the ability to do this ages ago? And I think one of the obvious reasons is that like the system is just built to protect itself and protect, a small few, protect the narrative, right? And it's always been that way. So I don't know. There's some value with all this stuff coming out. It's just frustrating, I think, for us because it's like, um, we were talking about this offline once. Hesher, like it's almost like this group on the call and others we're friends with and known for a while. We're so far ahead of it. The British are coming, the British are coming, and everyone's like, yeah, 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 whatever. Like so far ahead of it, and then now a lot of it's finally hitting, the mainstream media. Like it used to be too big to fail was the saying. Now it's like too big to hide, I guess.
Right. Too big to hide. So let's flaunt it. You know what I mean? Like that's sort of my problem with it. It's like, one of the aspects of my problem with it is the like traumatic ritual abuse of the flaunting of it all, and the slow drip leak and the committees and the talking heads, and then where's the audit, where's the legal action, just not seeing that in an appropriate way for like just years and years on end. I mean,
Yeah. Who besides me is real curious about the JFK files? I mean, I am, and I'm wondering to what level is it going to get released?
yeah, it's gonna be heavily
Um,
redacted again, like because I don't know if you saw it, but Joe Rogan bothered Donald Trump about that a little bit, you know, and Trump danced around that one quite a bit, you know, talking national security and public not being ready and that kind of stuff. And you know, maybe now they are. I don't know. The rhetoric was just like, okay, more nothingness in this department.
Well, I mean that's why I was responding to Anna Paulina or whatever her name is, because they have like a committee in the Congress to release the Epstein client list and like why do we need a Congress committee? Is it just to water it down,
Yeah,
right? And actually like put a
They need to
narrative.
create it. It doesn't exist. You guys are
yeah.
funny.
I guess.
Yeah, if it
And
does exist, they're not gonna roll it out. If they did roll it out, it would be heavily redacted. Most likely, it's just like the J6 stuff. Someone has, you know, their version of it in their head or in their safe, but ultimately, it's probably been destroyed.
mhm.
Uh, like you know, just like Las Vegas, just like J6, just like the SH Bang Bang. You know, all these different events. It's like going all the way back to the frickin' moon landing. Yeah, we don't have that stuff anymore. I don't know. We just threw it out. You know, after all that media hubbub and cultural engineering and attached legislation and outrage. Well, we just trashed it. We just trashed all the evidence. We don't have it anymore.
Yeah, we tend to do that. We just forget stuff and then we
Yeah,
can't recreate it.
unless it's like you
yeah.
know you're just a normal citizen or something, and then it's like you know, yeah, we got your tax records from 1972, sir.
Yeah.
Well, the FBI finally got off its ass and said, "Wow, shit! We just found 2,400 new JFK assassination. We had no idea. They just fell out of the sky.
Yeah,
Neat.
no, they were hiding down in their own little boiler room down there, you know, under some other
Well, I
classified
mean,
files.
yeah. Well, I guess we have tunnels where we hide stuff. You saw Elon Musk, right, when he was talking about the underground tunnel that everyone that retires or get fired from the government, they have take the paper and put it through that elevator and they store it in this underground shaft. So the US government has a piece of paper for every one they fired.
Cool.
And I guess they were saying that the only limitation is the speed of the elevator. So they cannot fire more than 10,000 people a day because that's how many people they can move a day. I'm like, what the actual F? Is that really true?
That's crazy, dude.
That sounds like the math they used back in the whole German. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to go there.
Yeah. No, it's seriously, it's crazy, you know, but yeah. Anyways, well, I mean, I think she was floating an idea that there are two shooters. She was saying, based on what she saw, there is two shooters. So, but again, we'll see what comes out. But
I bet they're Hamas.
yeah, or Iran. I guess I just feel suspicious that they have to pass it through Congress,
Yeah.
and then they have to do whatever the hell they need to do through a committee, and then they release it to us. It's just
Yeah. Anyone that's still alive, I guarantee not that there are very many left. I think there's one person that Mark Anderson has interviewed that was there that day directly involved that's still alive. Um don't quote me on that. I don't know the exact status, but I don't know, man. It's just like if it's not definitive information, I don't give a crap. You know what I mean? Like I've
yeah.
been subjected to so many different JFK theories over the years that like my mind is just numb to it. Like give us the information or don't. Like don't bother with this redacted crap. I don't even want to see a redacted document. I'm very disinterested in it. Like if I had nothing else going on, if we had nothing else to analyze, maybe I'd be really interested in it. Because it is an important you know, benchmark on how we got here right now. but I mean, if they're going to redact certain countries' names and certain people's names, or introduce something that internet sleuths, and JFK authors have to work through for 5 to 10 years and come up with their different shades of what this dump actually means, then I'm very disinterested. I want definitive.
How can we prove it? Because they're going to come out. Let's say it's not redacted, and then this one authoritative figure or group, the government, Doge, whatever, releases this shit, and then we all see it now. We see some new footage that nobody's ever seen. Even the JFK researchers never saw this. Look, we have photos, we have video.
We
How do
found
we
it.
even know it's fucking real? Hello, AI, ChatGPT, video generators, all that deep fake shit. They could very easily have. They don't need to redact anymore. They can just completely change history.
From the same people who found Muhammad Atta's passport, a couple blocks away from South Tower. I mean, coming from the team that brought you the gallows pole that was erected before J6, coming from the team that brought you, San Bernardino.
The Russian dossier.
Yeah, the dossier. I mean, the propaganda about the Hunter Biden laptop being Russian fakery. I mean, P-Gate. We could just go on and on and on. Safe and effective. It's brought to you by the same people that brought you the last big lie attached to a big narrative. So it's like,
but those people changed sides, and now they're with Trump, so it's okay.
Well, show us the money. We're we're in our Jerry Maguire phase right now with this administration. Show us the money, and show us the justice, and you'll have our attention. I mean, you've got our attention actually, but you can sway.
There it is. That's the meme. Show us the conspiracy. Show us the conspiracy.
Yeah. Yeah, we can handle the truth now. I think, like Q Jack Nicholson, we have to kick that video meme out of our heads, because I'm sorry, but conspiracy is reality, and it's also mainstream entertainment now, because so many people have accepted it as the framework for their reality, rather than the bullshit framework that the mass media cartel wants to give us. Mark Anderson's not going to make it, by the way. I just heard from him. He says, howdy, everybody, though. He's looking forward to joining us soon. His day got away from him. So no Truth Hound tonight, my friends.
He's just upset because Elon Musk stole his pseudonym for the evening, Harry Balls.
Yep. Big Harry Balls. That's right. Brian.
How old is that guy? Seriously.
Brian says, from the same people who gave you the Zapruder film hoax. Yep.
Yeah, in the live chat right now, there's another one right along lines with this, the Epstein list. What are we waiting on? It's published. The only reason that thing hasn't seen the light of day is because somebody or plural on that thing is needs to be protected. Otherwise, just publish it. What is a regular time clock punching, working Joe Blow or Jane Doe care? How are they affected if someone famous or rich or both is on that list and they see the name? Not at all. Put the thing out there. You want to get trust back? Publish all this stuff. That'd be a good start.
Yep. None of this slow drift stuff, or just clickbaity stuff. I mean, and I mean, who in their right mind thinks that while the Clinton family exists on this planet, that they're gonna just let that box of evidence, if there is such a box, they're just going to let it sit in some government facility? Are you kidding me? Like, you're tripping if you think they're going to just let that stuff sit around to be unsealed someday. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just not buying that that information is readily available in any way, shape, or form. There's probably I'm going to take crap for this. There's probably a lizard hybrid alien Nephilim sitting in Antarctica right now that has the originals, that has the answers to all these, and that's the only place they
That
exist
means
more.
you need to timestamp that. Go back that. There's probably some lizard hybrid sitting in Antarctica. That's good. That was good.
Right next to the Stargate that goes to Mars. Okay.
Geez. Yeah. In the fact that all this stuff hasn't seen the light of day, it only leads people to the same conclusion. Some version of people are being protected, or it's another version of string theory. But this version is you pull the string and the whole thing unravels. Like, oh, wait a minute, these people were in bed with them. Oh, they were covering up for them. Oh, that whole media apparatus was lying because 80% of them, at least at the editorial shot calling level, are on the take. And this is cooked and that's cooked and this is fake and that's fake. What the hell even it's all freaking hollow mirrors. And I think that maybe that's what they're scared of is like when you realize every air quote sacred institution is basically jacking each other off and protecting each other at some level, and quote unquote the elite or the rich that are benefiting off of this. Otherwise, it'd be put out there. I think there's literally people scared of the old torches and pitchforks at the palace, getting ready to storm it, sort of like reaction. Again, otherwise, just put the shit out there and say it. What are you guys protecting? They're protecting the hollow mirrors, obviously. I mean, I don't know what other conclusion to draw.
Or it's giving that impression. That's where I'm going with this.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Take the mic, dude. What do you mean, Ruckus?
I think a lot of this is meant to make it look like that this has been squared. Like, I don't think this shit exists, and I don't think we're going to get any actual things. I think this is just political football to serve this agenda with the we're here now, we're saving everybody, we're superheroes. Doge, Elon Musk, he's the man. Trump, America, yay.
Oh, sure. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, the rebranding is something I keep coming back to, the marketing aspect on this. Like, we not only are seeing the Republican Party being rebranded and attached at the hip to the technocrat class, but we're at a point now where we have to see our American politics style rebranded. You know what I mean? What we're seeing right now are like, powdered wig wearing people to people that are, younger than 40. They do not relate to the people in power, but they do relate to people like Mark Zuckerberg. They can relate to people like Peter Thiel. They have the ability to relate to technocrats, but they have a very hard time relating to, your Nancy Pelosi's, your Chuck Schumer's, your Mitch McConnell's, and this whole like, imperialistic, openly imperialistic neocon thing doesn't work for them. And and for many of them, even the Democrat Party, like with Biden, they wore that brand out. You know what I mean? Like, we used to talk about how after Trump beat Hillary, that Hillary was a broken brand. That was a brand that wasn't worth anything anymore. And then that turned into the whole DNC pretty much. And and now we're having to see the rebranding of the Republican Party. You can just see it. They're bringing a lot of young people into it. Elon bringing his kid into the White House the other day. The sort of very public relations wise, tactical placement of Barron over the years, from being kind of sheltered to where he is right now. Like, there's sort of this weird like tech dynasty feel coming in, I think. And we can't stop the technology pretty much without someone stopping it or EMPing us. So
the monkeys could do it.
yeah, I mean, if the monkeys would come along and shut the power down, maybe we can stop it. But for the most part, like the two management teams, apparent management teams that we've had in this country, their average age is not going to fit in very well with 21st century people within the next couple elections, pretty much. So I can smell that too, sort of this like intentional rebranding to bring, but that's all sort of future wargaming. When you zoom back in to what's going on right now, it's a very different look. So I don't know.
And they've all been played as if like the victim. They're all victims, right?
That's a trait that it's funny. People like back in 2022 when the midterm elections happened, I had a lot of guests come on State of the Nation that would say the Republican Party sucks and they need to learn the tactics of the Democrat Party. And I would always stop and say, "Are you sure about that? Because those tactics are really dirty. They're flashy, but they're expensive. They're dirty. They're manipulative." So yeah, that's one of those tactics that they learned from them, I think, of many. So yeah, okay. You guys sent me a couple links here. Let's see. Okay, here's the one on JFK that you sent. Ruckus. Oh wait, no, that's not it. This one right here. FBI says it found 2,400 new JFK assassination records. So let's
Just
see.
during one of their many trips down the elevator to fire people, they like,
Yeah,
oh shit, look what we found.
Collecting pink slips, and they stumbled upon these. Okay, let's say this. They said on Tuesday that it discovered. This is out of Dallas AP. Discovered 2,400 new records related to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy as federal agencies work to comply with President Donald Trump's EO last month to release thousands of files. FBI said it's working to transfer the records to the National Archives Records Administration to be included in the declassification process. The federal government in the early 1990s mandated that all documents related to November 22nd, 1963, assassination be housed in a single collection at the National Archives. And while the vast majority of the collection, which includes over 5 million pages of records, has been made public, researchers estimate that 3,000 files haven't been released either in whole or in part. The FBI didn't say what kind of information was in the newly discovered files. In 2020, they opened a central records complex and began a years-long effort to ship electronic inventory and store closed case files from field offices. Blah blah blah. Some words. If I wanted to read that much, I'd go to school. Like I'm on a bit of a tirade about this tonight, but it's like I'm sick of it. Like you're either going to tell the American public or you're not, and whatever you tell us is going to be under the scrutiny of an American public that knows just how conspiratorial and rank our media has been and our intelligence services have been and the FBI has been over the years. So,
and the National Records, NARA, right? The archives. How did that turn out for everybody last cycle? When they're like, oh shit, look, this guy's got it in his garage. This guy had it in his bathroom. This guy just had it laying out in piles on a stage in his house in Florida. So what's up with that? Now we trust NARA again?
Yeah. No. Highly sus. The American public is highly sus. At least it should be. On that one. And then what else did we get? Infidel, you dropped this one. Did I close that thing out? There it is. Okay, share. What's up with this, Infidel? Democrats favor Kamala Harris in California's governor race. Is a governor race on? I must have missed something. I didn't know we were already looking at getting rid of the gruesome nuisance.
Sorry, I was talking to mute. It's 2026. But I guess they are trying to run her for like governor of California. I'm like, what?
Oh my God, dude.
Like, come on.
No.
She's in rehab right now, getting ready.
No.
She is. And she's like, they're saying like in the article, she's going to bring the fundraising, machine into like the Democratic. I'm like,
You know what that means?
I'm like,
Fundraising. Okay.
does California really needs? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where California is gonna go. I don't know what's gonna be worse. If we got Canada, will it be worse than California, or California is still gonna be the worst state we have?
I tell you what, we need Brian Dolly in California. He was on my show a whole bunch of times, and he's great. He should run again. He actually ran against Newsom last time, so that'll be midterms. I should reach out to him and see if he's planning on running against him, because now would be the time to strike. The iron is hot, Mr. Dolly. If you're out there, he'd be great.
Yeah, so I think
Even a moderate Democrat would be great, right, Infidel? Like anything other than this guy at this point. And do you think he could even be reelected after the whole, like? I mean, he's lost the Hollywood vote now. They're all pretty pissed. They've all lost houses and stuff.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in California is pissed after all those fires and the whole like debacle about the insurance, right? And it's
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know if he's gonna get elected or not. But again, it's this state you don't know how really politics play, and if their solution is to run Kamala instead of him, well, I don't know, man.
I'd say that would probably. I don't know. I never want to underestimate the absolute
Stupidity.
liberalness of California, but I would almost say there's just a no go. It's a damaged brand. You know, I mean, if they can resurrect her political career, then wow, good job. But to me, it's like,
I wonder if it's some deep level. This is giving the political party like maybe more credit than they deserve or whatever, but like maybe it's some sort of like test. Like, okay, if she could still win in California, then we need to keep beating the same drum, and we're good. We're just, don't change nothing. But if she actually loses in California, then maybe we should rethink things. Besides, it'll still be a couple years before we, go for class president again for everything. So maybe it's like a litmus test of sorts, or a gauge of like how much the party's message has any traction to it. If someone like her could still win in a place like California.
yeah, interesting. The midterms will be an interesting litmus test in California. Because I remember when I think Karen Bass won in the midterm election in 22, and I mean, it wasn't just the Democrat Party that was supporting her. Biden and Harris flew out there and donated a ton of money and had big fundraiser. Like they stumped for her big time. So it'll be interesting to see how you know what I mean? Like they dumped so much money into that it was just unfair to whoever she was running against. And they did that with like the DA and all this stuff. So, that presidential stumping is not going to be happening now. I mean, not to say the DNC won't be funneling black money in there at their whim whenever they want, but I mean, they won't have that presidential endorsement anymore.
Yeah, like I think of this state, California, that I've left it and came back for, work or different stuff like that. But like, I can't, who is it? Davis was the last. I mean, Schwarzenegger had an R next to his name, but like, I mean, I think the real like Republican
Screw your
might have been,
freedom.
might have been speaking of Terminators, right? Might have been Gray Davis or Pete Davis or
Gray.
yeah. See, it's like people don't even remember that. So if think about this though, if a, I can't fathom a Democrat losing an election in this state. So if they put her up and she loses, I think literally to them it's like, that's literally like the okay, we gotta like start over, or we need to reinvent. But until something like that happens, maybe they don't. That's why I'm saying, like, I really think that if Kamala ran for governor, they would use that as a barometer to, like, a Barack era Democrat still working or not. Because if she couldn't win here, then that means she's really damaged goods, and the message is the pendulum swung uncomfortably for a card carrying liberal leftist whatever, more than they thought. So maybe, again, maybe it's just a gauge check if she could even do it or not still, of how much they need to reinvent or not.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a big ask. I think you guys are right though. There's this feels like sort of prodding the media to see what the response would be like, but I don't know. That would be a big mistake for the Democrats to run her anywhere for anything. Anywhere for anything. You can go to YouTube now and see the unedited version of her interview with CBS, and they chopped so much out of that. Word salad every time. She doesn't know how to talk. She doesn't know how to think. Uh, she's ridiculous, you know.
Her real time answer was horrible, and it even, like, to me, demonstrated this clear um, non understanding of anything geopolitical. Like, a, a high schooler, an elementary schooler could have answered better. Not all of them, but there are plenty that would have more of a clue what they were talking about. She was struggling
Yeah,
in that interview.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. That's a tough sell. Go ahead and try it. I mean, go for it. See what happens. and
Yeah, I
Randy,
mean,
Democrats do lose in California because they go up against each other primarily. They hardly ever have any real Republicans in a lot of places. Sorry, go ahead, Ruckus.
yeah, true.
They actually play dirty politics with each other over it. Were you going to jump in there, dude? Sorry, I didn't mean to step on you.
Who, me?
For
No.
me, no. I was just saying, yeah, true.
Oh, I thought Ruckus was going to jump in there for a sec. All right. Let's see here. So yeah, Kamala Harris, good luck. We had the FBI files, and here's the link on the one we were talking about earlier, which you'll find on the show page for tonight's show. Jeffrey Epstein client list among files to be released by Trump's task force. So this isn't to do with Doge per se. This is the task force with the declassification of federal secrets. I guess that's the official name. So that's what Anna Paulina Luna. She's the one that changed her name, right? Staunch political Zionist that changed her name, if I recall. Anyways, she's okay, so 9/11's on the list too. 9/11, the assassination of JFK, and UFO sightings.
UFOs. She didn't get the memo. She meant to say UAP.
Yeah, that's almost like not socially acceptable to say UFO anymore, huh? Or at least they'd want us to think that.
It'd be neat if they could combine all of those things into one new report. Like, well, the aliens killed JFK.
Because Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed him into doing
yes. Bingo.
All right.
It's on the client list. Oh, it's Lamb, the little gray alien that the satanic dude used to talk to.
Yeah. All right. We'll put that on the show page if you want to dig into that any further.
You said Lamb?
Yeah, wasn't that
you said Lamb, Ruckus?
Who was that? It was Aleister Crowley, right? He did the...
Yeah. L-A-M. It looked like a grayling or whatever.
Yep. 100%. Yes, sir. That's the one.
In Antarctica with the Nephilim, freaking whatever Hatcher said earlier.
And they traveled through the hollow earth to settle in Greenland.
Right. Maybe Greenland's where the Stargate actually is. You know, they got to go through the hollow earth to come out of the, magical troll hole in Greenland where the Stargate blasts you to Mars. You and your companion robot. I am a little intrigued about this idea of sending the robots to Mars, though. Like that sounds a lot better than sending the people there. I don't know if people survive that Van Allen radiation belt, so maybe you send your little robots up there and they can have DJ parties and stuff. Tell us how it is.
So why are we going to Mars then?
Yeah, so the robots don't get abused
robots can-
by thug people in their apartments, I guess.
I guess.
Like we're gonna create robots and then create a problem there and have to create a space travel to save the robots. What could go wrong?
Sending humans to Mars is going to be so like the plot of the running game. Everyone's going to think these people went to Mars and they've just been silently murdered somewhere.
Right. Yeah, like how do we trust that? We can't trust the news that comes to us here on Earth. How would we trust the news from Mars? Are you kidding me? Come on.
Yeah, we're just gonna take all the dissidents and send them to Mars.
Mars will be like the new Australia.
Yeah.
The new Guantanamo Bay, the
Gitmo.
dark side of the moon.
Yeah. No kidding. Yeah, and then everybody gets there and discovers that the Nazi zombies that you thought were on the dark side of the moon are actually at Mars, and you don't make it past go. Do not collect 200 space bucks. All right, what's this? Okay, we got another one. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is interesting. This is related to what we've been talking about. So,
Yeah, I have a few stories about some of the good news that's come out of all this. This is one of them.
all right. Yes. Out of zerohedge.com, Microsoft drops USAID funded NewsGuard after Ted Cruz starts digging. Microsoft has dropped NewsGuard, a left-wing fact-checking organization they partnered with that has helped the advertising industry justify blacklists for independent conservative media sites such as Zero Hedge. Yes.
Well, what does an independent conservative media mean now? Sorry.
I don't know. I think it means those of us that were not welcome on Twitter.
You are the media now.
Ooh, are the media. That's right. So the move came after Senator Ted Cruz from right here in Texas began investigating Microsoft for funding the online quote unquote media literacy censorship tool created by NewsGuard to help guide quote unquote learners of all ages through the overwhelming landscape of online news and information. Gee, thanks, NewsGuard. Now we come to find out that NewsGuard was funded by USAID. In January of 2025, we learned that NewsGuard received nearly $750,000 from the DoD, courtesy of USAID. In response, that was tweeted out by who? Tim Sharp or Sarah Comer there in the article there. In response to Cruz, stop bouncing. Microsoft claims their support for NewsGuard was limited to a one-time donation in 2018. Yeah, right. And said it had asked NewsGuard to remove a claim on its website that read NewsGuard's media literacy programs are made possible thanks to generous support from Microsoft. Yeah, so NewsGuard has
Just 2 years ago, they would have been proud to have that on their website, right?
Yeah, no kidding, no kidding. So, NewsGuard has since removed any mention of Microsoft from their website. Yeah, good, good. We just had that case. What was that, a year ago or less? I can't remember. Where Facebook was in court and they had to admit that fact checkers were just people with opinions. Huh. Interesting, because what were we? People with
Like
opinions.
Fauci, he didn't shut down the world. He just gave advice, and you guys decided to take it. It's on you.
And we gave our opinions about it, and we were shadow banned. So opinions. I just, opinion on the opinion validity scale. Fact checkers are garbage. They are pointless. They are no better than. Well, they're worse. They're worse than all of us.
Yeah, because they get some official label slapped on them, but it could be anybody, literally.
Yeah. It's like saying Federal Reserve. Is it federal? Is there a reserve? No, and no. It's just a freaking name. And they tried to do the same thing with their whole grotesque Mary Poppins wannabe in the disinformation board. So yeah, that's great. That is a win. I wish Mark Anderson was here for that one. That's pretty cool. And then we got this one. What do you think about that, Infidel? I don't think you weighed in there. Mr. Mystical Pharaoh. Glad to see Microsoft have to disengage from those ghouls over there at Fact Check.
Yeah, I mean it's good that I guess corporate America is losing their cape of BS nonsense.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, dude, to think like there was a long period of time there where all this fact checking stuff came out. Like it basically came around the time that Trump hit the stage and the media reacted the way that they did to him back in 15 or whatever.
Yeah.
All of a sudden we had to have fact checks. Like it wasn't even a concept. You know what I mean? Like you just knew you needed to be savvy on the internet, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, well, we got to fact check this, and then it just turned into this crazy like back and forth between fake news and fact checking dialectics.
You know where I see coordination on this, guys? I don't know if you remember this. Say what you want about Alex Jones. Take him or leave him, or some things yes, some things no, a lot of things maybe, whatever. But I specifically remember before Trump, when it was Hillary versus Trump, and before he was in the first time, her specifically, she always seems like her talking points are coordinated with the swamp, the deep state behind on a lot of stuff she would say. Like she would be like the first one that got to like hit the first domino on a lot of things. She did with Trump and Russian collusion. She literally dropped that initially. First time I ever heard it before it got any wind months later was on a debate against him. But similarly, she just out of nowhere just went in on Alex Jones and conspiracy theorists like Alex Jones, right? So she was like all up in that like before it was cool, and then boom, the armada came in, news media and all that, like following the Pied Piper, just following her lead with all that way back when. And yeah, I mean, when I think about when that started really gaining teeth, I think it might have been there like before that, but like really gaining traction, in my memory, anyways, when old Hillary.
It's interesting how so many narratives are you can see her and those in her orbit. Like it's rare that you see people in a verifiable position, seemingly verifiable position through open source information that have the ability to actually set some of these narratives. It feels like it just comes from the news media, right? If you're not really paying attention, but then when you start breaking some of the narratives or realize that they're actually political / military / corporate / globalist propaganda, right? Brainwashing. And then you can start, tracking and tracing it a little bit. And it's like, it's rare you find yourself like with someone like that, where it's like, oh, wow, that's a nexus point to certain narratives that, became sort of a reality or a fake reality, that's held up for us as long as they're politically expedient, right?
Yeah, it just has coordination written all over it, and it's one of those things, right? I mean, where you don't have to be in some sort of fly on the wall or have some sort of secret squirrel sort of rig set up where you hear all these conversations going on in smoke filled rooms or hallways and hushed tones, somewhere in the deep state or some subterranean CIA complex or something like that. You could just from a distance, if you just sort of like detach from having your face in the details or some hot button issue. If you just back up and look at it, I don't know. I could be crazy. I could be crazy. Randy, you're nuts. All right, cool. But to me, it looks obvious as anything to anyone paying attention that doesn't have some sort of disorder where they can't follow multiple streams of thought all at once, and you just put a little time into it, and you don't even need to have any stake in it. Just like observe, watch, and it's right there in front of everybody. This coordinated swamp deep state stuff, like with our gal Hillary.
Yeah, right. Well, let's see. Ruckus just dropped us this one here. President Trump cuts off funding for the National Endowment for Democracy. Check this out. This is NED is another one that we have criticized bigly here in the boiler room over the years. And this is out of Big League Politics. Shane Trejo here responsible for this one. And the byline is: the National Endowment for Democracy is a CIA front group engaged in regime change operations abroad. Yeah, wait. That's a great byline. I love it. I love it, Shane. That's very poignantly said. This is what we've been getting at, like, for so long. These NGOs are not NGOs. Some of them may be, some of them may have aspects to them, or maybe even the majority of the aspects of them could be good. But if there's stuff like this happening in the background, the public needs to know about it. It needs to stop. It needs to be made public, and people need to be held responsible for anything that was done wrong. So here's what he wrote. Again, at Big League Politics, Substack there for Shane Trejo. President Donald Trump has cut off funding for the National Endowment for Democracy, NED, a CIA front group that destabilizes regimes across the world. The Free Press reported that NED's funding has been suspended per an order sent from Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency to the U.S. Treasury, which will cripple the organization's budget to conduct subversive activities. The report indicates that NED received an astonishing $315 million from the U.S. government during the most recent fiscal year. The NED's dole has now dried up, and the bureaucrats are freaking out as a result. Dude, $315 million in 1 year. People of Lahaina, attention. People of North Carolina, attention. People of East Palestine, attention. People living a life on the streets, attention. This is the kind of money that your government will spend in 1 year to a fake organization, a cutout organization, to do regime change in other countries. That's just 1 year. Well, I would like to know what does 10 years of NED funding look like? What's 20 years of NED funding look like? Where did all the money go? Where are the emails and memos that lead to the memorandums that lead to the comptroller at sending money from the Pentagon to NED? Who's involved in these chains? What was done with the money? We would like to know. That's taxpayer dollars. They offered $700 to the people that survived the Lahaina fire. And they didn't tell us how many people died in it. They didn't let those people back on their property. Last I heard, they still weren't on their property. But we've got just endless buckets of money to give to endless NGOs to commit what some people would say are endless crimes against humanity all over the world. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, I'm looking at their website, man, and it's 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 a baby US AID basically. Um, just not directly attached to the government, I guess. but
Right.
it has a pretty official sounding name. Sounds official, right? Like the Federal Reserve or whatever, National Endowment for Democracy. With a name like that, it's got to be good, right? Sign me up.
Yeah. Well, here it gets better. Let me continue a little bit. It's been a bloodbath, quote unquote. An NED staffer said to Free Press, quote, "We have not been able to meet payroll and pay basic overhead expenses," end quote. The Center for Renewing America, a think tank helmed by Trump's Office of Management and Budget Director Russell Voigt, connected NED's actions to the genesis of the Russia-Ukraine war. In an analysis, quote, "A steady stream of NED grants to myriad Ukrainian political entities and movements advanced both the Orange Revolution and the Maidan Revolution that paved the way for the current Ukraine-Russia war," end quote. That's what the analysis said. So, and that's what we've been pointing out forever. I remember Patrick Henningsen talking about this in 2014. 11 years ago. That was when I got interested in that. And that was one of the eye-opening moments about NGOs and how they're used. Jim Bovard wrote an article with the Libertarian Institute chronicling the misdeeds of the NED throughout their sordid history. Bovard noted that the NED attempted to orchestrate a coup against socialist dictator Hugo Chavez in Venezuela in the early 2000s. The attempted coup failed and only strengthened Chavez's grip on power as he used the failed coup to convince his people he was standing against foreigners attempting to destroy the sovereignty of a nation. Bovard stated in a 2009 article for the Future of Freedom Foundation that NED is, quote, "based on the notion that its meddling in foreign elections is automatically pro-democracy because the U.S. government is the incarnation of democracy. NED has always operated on the principle that what's good for the U.S. government is good for democracy," end quote. Really? How's that working out for everybody? How is that working?
At least we understand what they mean every time they talk about our democracy now.
That's what it means. It means whatever the ruling class in America wants, whatever the CIA wants, whatever who controls the CIA wants. So there you go. And it ends. I'll just finish it out. It ends with, in recent years, NED has become, quote, "a top funder of the worldwide censorship industrial complex." End quote. According to Bovard, with NED arguing that worldwide Big Brother censorship is necessary to protect democracy. There they are again. They see that they turn it against us, the American people, right there, because that democracy has nothing to do with you or me or our founding documents, our constitutional rights, our human rights. Nothing.
Nor our constitutional republic.
No. Yep. First and foremost, the Trump administration has correctly identified NED as one of the most insidious and destructive government-funded programs on the books. So there you go. If you were afraid that USAID was going to be the sacrificial lamb, we got more lambs coming to the slaughter here. So it's funny too, because I think about I heard that over at Politico, people weren't getting their paychecks as soon as USAID shut down. So there's like speculation that, there are news outlets that are, immediately, you know what I mean? Like they're saying here in this article too, like paychecks are not going through the second this thing is shut down. I think that's just glorious and hilarious. Like, how many crap news rags out there are infidel, mystical pharaoh? What do you think? All these crap news, like we've seen this with, a lot of news sites that have, we were told were big, but turned out they failed. It looks like we might see a slew of them now.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see more and more of those guys. Guys, I gotta jump out though. Oh, you're muted.
All right, dude. Thanks for being here with us tonight. We'll look forward to having you on again next week, dude. Have a great rest of the weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Maybe you'll do a magic carpet ride for us on Saturday.
That's my plan. I'll see you guys on Saturday.
All right.
Cheers,
Thanks.
guys.
Thanks, dude.
There he goes. That's
Later, infidel.
I almost said infidel pharaoh. It's mystical pharaoh.
Whoops.
I just sent you here in the private chat, Hesher, a link to back up what you said about Politico.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay, let's throw this up there real quick. Get that on the show notes for everybody. Off of the deep dive here. Politico's payroll mishap shines light on USAID ties. Employees at Politico caught by surprise when their paychecks failed to arrive for the latest pay period. According to internal emails shared by the staff, company leadership pointed to a technical error, quote unquote, in the payroll system and promised to resolve the issue promptly. Within 24
He's in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, right. Within roughly 24 hours, staff reported that pay had been dispersed, but not before speculation emerged on the social media on what might have transpired. Politico is owned by Germany-based Axel Springer SE, a global media holding company that was once publicly traded but is now privately held. The firm's flagship publications and digital ventures are predominantly European, although its 2021 acquisition of Politico significantly expanded its U.S. market footprint. This made the situation that despite being headquartered in Arlington, Virginia, Politico's strategic and financial decisions can be influenced by its foreign parent. So, look, they've got a receipt for us here. As rumors swirled about the payroll disruption, critics began highlighting Politico's substantial funding from, you got it, USAID. Public records, including those found on usaspending.gov, showed that Politico LLC has received millions of dollars from USAID, with the flow of federal awards ramping up significantly over the past few years. Shocking, not. Exact figures indicate that over 200 transactions from various federal programs contributed to Politico's government-related revenue. So there you go. There's your receipt. We'll link it on the show.
This is one of those ones where it's like there's no proof that they really did, but clearly they did.
Yeah. Yeah, they've got a one receipt here for $8.2 million. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. None of the people that I know doing actual media and actual journalism are getting anything but tax bills and indictments and shit like that from the government. Nobody's getting $8.2 million to do anything that they're doing that I know. Goodness gracious.
Now, the $8 million is not like the billions of dollars for Operation Stargate. I get it, but millions of dollars is still a lot of effing money.
Yeah, and it's like all those transactions, like we saw that $315 million number on one of them. That was for 1 year. Like what is it over 10 years? I mean, we've talked about how much taxpayer money goes into PBS, the public broadcasting channels, over the years, and it's like a quarter of their budget. It's like 25%, or at least it was last I looked.
The thing is, if you take all of this above board, who gets blamed for doing these things? Like, sure, like one of these was thanks to Doge. One of these that we talked about was thanks to Ted Cruz shining a light on it. But at the end of the day, this is Trump, right? It's all Trump did this, right? So Trump is making some very powerful enemies that, historically speaking, don't wind up doing so well for presidents. We did mention the JFK thing, didn't we? Every single conspiracy theory related to how and why he was assassinated has to do with him exposing some form of corruption, picking a fight with the wrong people. And here we've got Trump picking a fight with literally a CIA cutout. I mean, and then I just dropped this. Now he's running around saying this is the big no-no. I'm like, well, how is he getting away with this? Like, what is happening here? Now he's going to cut the military budget?
Yeah,
hold the phone here. I'm all for that, but I'm very, very concerned for his well-being now.
Yeah, exactly. So the source for this one is off antiwar.com. Great, antiwar.com. Good website. Make sure it's in your regular rotation. And this is by Dave DeCamp. Dave's awesome. Trump military spending could be cut in half, and there's no reason to build new nuclear weapons. Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the kind of thing people want to hear, I hope. The president said he wants to have a global conference with Russia and China to discuss cutting military spending. President Trump told reporters on Thursday that he believes U.S. military spending could eventually be cut in half and that he wants to pursue the idea as part of an agreement with Russia and China. He also said there was no reason to build new nuclear weapons. Quote, at some point when things settle down, I'm going to meet with China and I'm going to meet with Russia, in particular those two, and I'm going to say there's no reason for us to be spending almost $1 trillion on the military, and I'm going to say we can spend this on other things. When we straighten it all out, then one of the first meetings I want to have is with President Xi of China and President Putin of Russia, and I want to say let's cut our military budget in half, and we can do that. And I think we'll be able to do that. Is he just talking about ours, or does he expect them to cut theirs in half? Because theirs is like like orders of magnitude less than ours. I mean, we cut ours in half. It's still like multiple times what Russia's is.
This makes perfect sense to me because I've been following the AI replacing everybody and everything. It turns out that shit is cheaper. So I'm just saying, hey, if we start offloading a lot of the AI to run the military stuff, we could save the shit. We could easily cut the budget in half, and we don't have to sacrifice any of the things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And who knows? We got quantum computing coming up. Maybe they got some super doomsday weapon that's going to outshine nuclear weapons or just pointless. Like, so who? I mean, what does this mean? There's no way he means that we're just going to cut the legs out from under the military, because the military-industrial complex still rules the roost. Correct me if I'm wrong here.
Yeah, it could just be signaling a like a great reset, basically a great reset of what it means to be fighting a war, what it means to have a WMD. They're not going to be traditional ones that we're used to, you know, like drone swarms could be a way worse threat than a thermonuclear device, you know, like
much cheaper.
Yeah, exactly. And much without all the destruction, you know. So yeah, I like it though. On its face, I'm down with no more nuclear weapons. I'm down with not having $1 trillion budget for the military.
Also, his reason for there's no reason to build brand new nuclear weapons. He didn't say he was going to get rid of the ones that we have.
Right.
He said, and I quote, "We already have so many, you could destroy the world 50 times or 100 times over." End
Yeah,
quote.
well, sounds logical to me. I mean, yeah, we've got that capability, so that unlock has been earned by modernity. Let's maybe we'll move on to AI drone swarms and Terminator bots that can DJ a party after they do what they do. Yeah.
What do you
All
think,
right.
Randy?
What's that?
What do you think about the military budget being cut in half?
I don't know, half or 25% or 60%. It could definitely be cut. And I know there's a lot of people that are like, hey, USA, USA, what are you going to cut the military for and all that? You can cut the military significantly without damaging, someone that signed their name on the contract and, affecting their training or putting them at risk because there's so much
You wouldn't have to fire
pork.
anyone, dude. Right? Like you could. I'm sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt you, man. I want you to continue, but it seems to me like if you just fixed the contracting departments and cleaned up some of the red tape and made bidding actually open, that in and of itself could half the just the overhead of it all.
Right. They overpay for everything. The contracting thing is a total it's to use a British term that I hear sometimes. It's absolutely shambolic. Like it's just off the charts. Like what they'll put under the DoD budget, but that they basically outsourced it. And it gets signed a lot because a lot of politicians, it's like a sort of a top cover thing where they could be like, hey, it's for the troops, or hey, It's for, national security. Do you dare, question our servicemen and servicewomen or putting lives at risk and all that? Sure, that's there, but there's like an operational risk and there's like actual training that happens. And then there's, okay, what about the other billions that go to, you know, something that could probably be made at a third of that price, but there's just so much, right? And then the contracts take so long and they need extensions and they take years. I don't know. What did that joint strike force fighter take? Like
Oh, dude,
years and decades or something of
it's
just
it's
Lord knows
still
how much
behind
poured into that.
schedule and over budget. Still to this day, behind schedule, over budget, and like marginal results when they go bad.
Yeah, that so to streamline and make something like that efficient, you don't even need to scrap the program. Just do it correctly or make a better product or whatever could save, billions. And that's just one thing that we brought up.
Right.
But it's like kids, with free access to the candy store. They just can't help themselves. So, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Well said. Here's a comment from the Discord that I think will ring through to a lot of people, especially considering everything that we already talked about tonight. With um, using NGOs to cause regime change and interfere in elections in foreign countries. Like, how's all that working out for everybody? How's that for geopolitics? But Fleety, shout out to Fleety in our chat, says, in our Discord chat, if you're not in our Discord, you should join it. If you aren't operating all of those 670 bases in other countries, you could probably save a bit. Uh-huh. Well said, Fleety. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Elon Musk, hire Fleety now.
And yeah, exactly. I mean, Big Balls is a cutout anyways, right? You should just hire Fleety and put him in the Big Balls seat, because that's what I'm talking about right there. Let's knock this shit off. Let's knock off all the color revolutions and let people figure it out. Stop taking American taxpayer dollars and doing color revolutions, please. Abroad and at home, guys. Guys, are you listening out there? That's what we would all like. I think we can all agree on this. I mean, I hope. I don't know. Maybe people like seeing their tax dollars go to some fucking foreign country they've never heard of before, and being used to do cultural engineering and war and regime change and disrupt elections. I mean, maybe there's someone out there. I've never met that person that thinks this is a good idea. I've met people that just trust all aspects of the institution, but those people are becoming more and more rare. So, sorry to that shrinking demographic. Whew. All right, what do we got? I see something in the chat here. What is this? Bloat?
Yeah, the hits just keep coming. The new EPA guy just discovered what was going on under the previous admin.
Oh, all right. Okay. Yeah.
It's like a 2-minute video. You can just play the video.
Yeah, we'll let this one speak for itself.
This is Lee Zeldin, right?
Yeah, Lee Zeldin. All right. Okay. And Lee Zeldin has been appointed as I forget what his title is, but he's got one in the cabinet.
Hi, this is EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin. One of my very top priorities at EPA is to be an excellent steward of your hard-earned tax dollars.
It's kind of quiet.
Of any waste and abuse. An extremely disturbing video circulated 2 months ago featuring a Biden EPA political appointee.
I'm going to pause for a second. Yeah, it sounds fine over here, but I don't know. We're having some weird audio glitches tonight. There was one clip I didn't hear at all that you were hearing, so I don't even know if that went over the air or not, but I'm just going to let it run. Hopefully, I'll try to clean it up afterward if it doesn't come out good.
Talking about how they were tossing gold bars off the Titanic, rushing to get billions of your tax dollars out the door before Inauguration Day. The gold bars were tax dollars. And tossing them off the Titanic meant the Biden administration knew they were wasting it. Following this revelation, during my meetings with members of Congress, I made a very important commitment to them and to the American people, which I reiterated at my confirmation hearing that if confirmed, I would immediately get a full accounting. Fortunately, my awesome team at EPA has found the gold bars. Shockingly, roughly 20 billion of your tax dollars were parked at an outside financial institution by the Biden EPA. This scheme was the first of its kind in EPA history, and it was purposefully designed to obligate all of the money in a rush job with reduced oversight. Even further, this pot of $20 billion was awarded to just 8 entities that were then responsible for doling out your money to NGOs and others at their discretion with far less transparency. Just under $7 billion was sent to one entity called the Climate United Fund. I'm sure you and I now have some of the same questions. How do these organizations decide how to allocate funding? How much money have they given out so far and to whom? Are there any former Biden EPA staffers who are now working at these entities? Let me make one thing abundantly clear. At this point, there is zero reason to suspect any wrongdoing by the bank. Here's my position as EPA administrator. The financial agent agreement with the bank needs to be instantly terminated, and the bank must immediately return all of the gold bars that the Biden administration tossed off the Titanic. EPA needs to reassume responsibility for all of these funds. We will review every penny that has gone out the door. I will be referring this matter to the Inspector General's office, and will work with the Justice Department as well. The days of irresponsibly shoveling boatloads of cash to far-left activist groups in the name of environmental justice and climate equity are over. The American public deserves a more transparent and accountable government than what transpired these past 4 years. We take our obligations under the law as seriously as it gets. I've directed my team to find your gold bars, and they found them. Now we will get them back inside of control of government as we pursue next steps. As President Trump has vowed, we are going to usher in a new golden age of American success for the citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed.
All right. Randy J, if you're still with us, I'll take any comments you have. I know you got to bounce, or you can just say, I got to go. Bye. And he has already bounced. So thanks for being here with us tonight, Randy J. That was great. Yeah, another infuriating amount of money there. $30 billion. Wow.
20 billion.
$20 billion.
What was 10 billion? I mean, difference 20 to 30. What the hell? It's still an insanely high number of money. Again, not the $500 billion that we're giving to Larry Ellison and Sam Altman for Project Stargate.
No, we're told that's their own money, so they're gonna have to come up with that on their own.
Oh, okay. Good luck.
So we'll see how that works out, because he's not even worth that much. He's the 4th richest or 2nd richest man, and he's not even worth that much. So he's gonna have to bring a lot of friends to the party.
Yeah. Now you know who is worth a lot. Apparently, we just found out Samantha Powers.
Oh.
That was the big one with the USAID thing. They discovered, oh shit, that's kind of weird. She had an annual salary less than like $250,000, but her net worth went up to $30 million. She was, of course, the head of USAID.
yeah. Let's do them all. Let's figure out how all their salaries got so big. I mean, we know
that's what they're doing.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. Fleety once again kicks in with an article here about what we were talking about there. This is out of responsiblestatecraft.org. The F-35, this is an article from last year. F-35 fighter will now cost more than $2 trillion. The eye-popping price tag has not fixed the maintenance issues plaguing the program, a government watchdog says. So the F-35 fighter jet program will cost taxpayers more than 2 trillion. Make that nice and big there, that text nice and big so that you can see this nice and big number that we're paying. 2 trillion over its lifetime, cementing its place as one of the most expensive weapons programs in US history, according to new estimates from the Government Accountability Office. So if you don't like Elon Musk, you're thinking, that's just more Doge garbage. No, this is straight from the GAO, which is
And what's the U.S. debt again? 30 something trillion, 36 trillion.
Yeah, 36 and counting. I mean, it's it's going up as we speak, pretty fast.
They're going to start measuring the debt clock now and the number of F-18 fighters, right?
Yeah, right. The new price tag represents a dramatic jump from a 2018 estimate that set the program's total cost at 1.7 trillion. Most of the bump comes from projected sustainment costs, which increased by 44% to a cool 1.58 trillion over the lifetime of the program. The Pentagon also extended the project life of the plane to 2088 rather than the previous goal of 2077. So
I misspoke, huh? This is what, the F-35, right?
yeah, F-35.
Gotta lose track of these things.
I know. So people, they say that our $2 trillion investment between whenever this program started and 2088 will be a worthy investment for us, I guess. I guess we're supposed to assume that that's a great 2 trillion to have mixed in with our current 36 trillion and counting.
We're protecting the monkeys in Sri Lanka.
Well, yeah. Are we? Yeah, okay. I thought we'd protect the people from the monkeys, but I like your idea better.
Got to save them from the companion bots before it's too late.
Yeah, the companion bot revolution is going to be lit. It is going to be lit for sure. Okay, here's this one. We talked about this. You can see this on YouTube. Elon and XEI or whatever his kid's name is in the Oval Office. Doge investigating feds whose net worths have exploded after Samantha Power bombshell. Doge head Elon Musk said on Tuesday that Doge is going to investigate federal employees whose net worths have exploded despite their comparatively low pay. The announcement, which came after President Trump signed an executive order calling on federal agencies to work with Doge, follows a bombshell report that Samantha Power, former head of USAID, saw her net worth explode to $30 million despite an annual salary of under $250,000. So, yeah.
Maybe she was getting stock investment tips from Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, really. Yeah, that's a deep rabbit hole for big balls in the crew, huh? All right. Well, I've exhausted. I've exhausted anything I had. Ruckus, do you got any more you want to throw in there?
Oh, there's tons of these things. I mean, they're coming like at lightning speed.
I know.
It's insane. Yeah, I don't know. The hits are just gonna keep on coming, and all the news outlets are covering it. That's what's weird too.
Yeah,
we don't have there's very rarely, I mean, they're still out there where they're like these hit pieces again, like debunking or saying, oh no, this is just this. No, they're just, NBC is just like, yeah, so yeah, it looks like Samantha Powers made a lot more money than she should have, and Elon Musk is bad. He's so bad. But yeah, and they just report the news because it's really happening, and it's just so surreal.
Yeah, and they don't go. If they were doing their job, they wouldn't have had her on the news in the first place back in the day. But they could go through their own files and pick up like the archives of her speaking on their platform to their employees, dishing out propaganda. And it's like she's just this like side note. Oh yeah, there's some whatever. Some inefficiency. Blah blah blah. No. This needs to be adjudicated. This needs to be understood. Like these amounts of money, if there's that much money being squirreled away by the EPA, then every single organization was doing something similar and right now is probably quaking in their fucking boots.
Yep, and it's been politicized because we have to pretend like only one side of American politics does this, and the other side is clean as a fucking whistle, right?
Well, I saw.
We would never. No way.
I've seen Mike Ben's running around talking about this a lot. He's sort of the big voice talking about it, and he's not wrong in what he's saying for the most part, but he's framing it as though it's just something that the Democrats and Biden and Harris did almost. I mean, at least that's maybe I haven't watched enough of it, but that's kind of the vibe I'm getting is like, I see this a lot where and it's like, wait a minute, these things have been going on for a long time. Yes, they were particularly egregious in the last 4 years, and that's coming to head. And I'm fine with, going backwards in time, but I just want to, people to be cautious about accepting the politicization of it. You can accept the short-term politicization of it if we get the receipts, but you need to stay open-minded about the longer term collusion between the two sides and from whence all this comes above them.
And then we have the wild child, not the wild child of the wild child, but the big wild child, the big boy jumping up and down on the stage, Elon Musk. So why does it take Elon Musk and his Doge to do this? How come Trump couldn't have done this the last time he made America great again? The bloat and the waste and the fraud existed then, didn't it? Didn't he bitch about it during his campaign and all this stuff? Wasn't he going to start locking people up back then? No, we owe them a great big debt of gratitude, he said.
Yeah, well, you get another shot. You get another shot now, and we're impressed in many swim lanes here, so we'll see how it goes. I want to see the audits. I want to see these people held accountable, and I want to see it all happen in public. That would please me very much. So yeah, we shall see. But again, back to that great rebranding.
Also, yeah, I was going to say the rebranding thing. So it's like, so even though Elon was a loved, the left loved that guy before he bought Twitter, right? And then he bought Twitter, and things started going downhill for that guy ever since then. But it's like there's no arguments about the fact that it would appear, anyways. Again, this could just be all about keeping up appearances, but the left-leaning media seems less concerned about the exposure of all the fraud and the waste and the bloat. They're more concerned about who's doing it. They don't seem to give a shit the fact that these people were robbing taxpayers blind. They're more upset that it's Elon Musk and Trump who's exposing it. Like what? So if it was somebody from your side, you guys would have been like, oh, thank God Biden exposed all the corruption that Biden was doing.
Right. I mean, this stuff was sitting right there in front of you guys' faces, and you didn't say shit. In fact, you promoted a lot of these, propaganda narratives. So what are you jealous? I mean, what's the deal here? And you have an open goal right now to go in and do real journalism and expose what we're talking about here, that this is not a phenomena that is strictly, set on the Democrat side. There are tentacles, this is the octopus thing. Watch the octopus murders on Netflix. Watch that documentary. That's what you're dealing with here, that the kind of level of thing. And again, it's an open goal for journalists, but mass media cartel journalists won't take it, can't take it. The producers won't allow it. Their owners won't allow it. The CEOs won't allow it. They have other interests in mind, and that's just that. But maybe these things are changing. They're certainly losing their audience quickly. They're hemorrhaging audience quickly. CNN may have to shut down. Like, it'll be interesting to see, like 2 years from now, if we don't have a black swan event of some sort, like how many of these media rags hang around and are still around. Like, can Politico survive without USAID? And so many others. It'd be really interesting to see. If that would be amazing if a bunch of propaganda funding was removed from the media. I would be very grateful for that. So that's on my Christmas list, Donald.
Mm-hmm. And then I guess we can cover real quick the two big nominations. So we got the Cruella de Vil here. What's up with that streak in her hair anyway?
It's a branding thing. I think that everything comes down to branding these days. But
she called it. She referred to it just recently as her signature look. So I guess.
Okay, I think it's Storm's signature look, but okay, I'm just X-Men nerd.
Looks like a comic book villain. I can't get that image out of my head. It's crazy.
It is straight out of X-Men. It looks like Storm. Okay, so she's been sworn in as director of national intelligence. Gabbard said the intelligence community has been weaponized against the American people. Yep. She was confirmed by the Senate in a 52 to 48 vote. Useless, senile Mitch McConnell was the lone Republican.
Wheeled in a wheelchair, by the way, for the
Seriously,
event.
the guy is falling down the stairs a couple days before and glitching out. But yeah, he's there to cast a vote that represents the American people. Like, okay, dude. Um, uh, humiliation rituals against the American public via our supposed representatives right there. Perfect example. Anyway, going on. Mitch McConnell was the lone Republican to vote with the entire Democratic caucus against Gabbard. Tulsi's a former Democratic representative and was vice chair of the DNC. Yeah, they go through her history here, but yeah, that's here's a comment she made. She said during this swearing in ceremony, unfortunately, the American people have very little trust in the intelligence community, largely because they've seen the weaponization and politicization of an entity that is supposed to be purely focused on ensuring our national security. So, yeah. What more can you say? True that.
Yep. But she had to she did a flip flop on the Section 702 thing, right?
Yeah, I did hear something about that. During her time in Congress, Tulsi was one of the most vocal critics of U.S. foreign policy and domestic spying. She often argued against American wars in the Middle East that sought to overthrow secular dictators, such as in Syria. That's another long story for the side. Additionally, Tulsi supported legislation that would have repealed FISA Section 702, which allows for mass collection of American data without a warrant. So, yeah, that's the kind of thing that you'll see people go behind a closed door and come back out and say, you know what, I changed my mind. Changed my mind. Someone took me behind a closed door, showed me some stuff. I changed my mind.
Oh, they made her an offer she couldn't refuse.
Yeah, or right. Yeah, there's the whole there's an acronym for that whole coercion chain that is in play oftentimes. And we got this guy right here. The nationalpulse.com. We've got Jack Montgomery. God sent me President Trump. RFK Jr. That's a quote. RFK Jr. sworn in as HHS Secretary. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been officially sworn in as Health and Human Services Secretary by Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch in the Oval Office. RFKJ, the nephew of the late President JFK and the son of the late Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy Sr., described how for years he prayed to God to put him in a position to tackle a childhood chronic disease epidemic gripping America, and how, quote, God sent me President Trump. He's kept every promise that he's made to me. He's kept his word in every account and gone way beyond it. A lot of people told me that I couldn't trust President Trump, that I had better get it in writing, but we did a handshake deal, and everything he told me he was going to do, he has done, end quote. So there you go. RFKJ.
Hey, man, handshakes are good enough for Freemasons. They're good enough for everybody.
Yeah, these fellow travelers shaking hands here.
But yeah, I watched his speech, and he said the way he said it, like they glossed over it there, but he emotionally was talking about how he would wake up every day, and every single day for years, the first thing he would do after he got out of bed, he wouldn't get up and make coffee, he wouldn't take a piss. No, he would slam down on his knees and pray to God to put him in a position of power so that he could tackle childhood chronic disease. Like, wow, this guy's he's like a saint. And that literally, he did say that God sent him, RFK Jr., Donald Trump. Weird.
All right. Well, I'm sure there's good that he can do. I'll be interested to see what it is. I would just urge him to go back on what he said in the confirmation hearing with regards to the child jibby jab schedule. I think that would be a fantastic place to start if you really want to show the American people that you mean that. Then let's take a look at that. Let's not dismiss that particular topic.
And he's still insisting he's not anti-vax. He's like, no, I'm not taking away anybody's vaccines. I just have questions about that other one. You know,
Right.
okay, all the other ones are good, apparently. Weird.
That's actually an okay foundation if what he's going to do is actually ask the questions that lead to the answers that people deserve. So I'll let him slide by on that one for now. We'll have to wait and see. I have very high expectations. So the ask is pie in the sky, some might say, but we shall see. We shall see. It'll be interesting. What's with Doge Dog over here? Is it just Department of Doge, or is there any crypto news that we need to cover before we bang out?
No, that's the Doge guy.
Doge
That's
Dog.
Harry Balls. Harry
Yep.
Balls. That's his
There he
name
is.
now, or unless he changed it again.
Harry
He's used the
Balls.
Harry Balls before.
All right. Well,
I mean, like the guy has been ostensibly he's been placed in charge apparently of this Doge thing. He's got like a pretty big role currently, unofficially in this administration, but he's running around like I'm Harry Balls. I mean, dude, how serious can you take this guy? I mean, he's got a very serious job, don't you think? I don't see RFK Jr. or Tulsi Gabbard like, I'm whatever, you know. He's so immature. It's so weird. But I guess he's on the spectrum, and that's cool. I wonder how that happened.
I think we're that. Yeah. What a narrative. What an insane narrative. What a world of narratives we live in, Ruckus. This is crazy time. Really interesting though. I'm at least this is more fun to watch go by than what was going by in the last 4 years. Hopefully it can remain pleasant. We shall see. We shall see. And that's a relative term considering the kind of stuff that we've seen in the doom scroll. All right, Ruckus, over to you. Save rounds, final thoughts. Let's call it a night.
So Infidel dropped one that I wanted to mention too a little while back about Google.
Oh yeah, we did. I think we talked about that last week. That was why I didn't put it on screen. But yeah, go ahead. For anyone that missed.
Yeah, because I'm actually going to talk about this pretty soon as well and expand upon this on my own show. But yeah, Google walked back their decision about allowing AI to be used for weaponries. So they're like, yep, totally cool now. I think we did talk about this, but it all comes this week. The big thing was there was a summit going on. So we're past the point of like the pandemics, and now we're concerned about AI. So they had this giant AI summit meeting thing, and I guess Vance has made some comments. He's talking like he wants to. They're turning. Where's Vance from? Ohio? Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ohio is getting to be a big player in the whole thing, but Paris had an AI summit. They made a declaration, and the United States and the UK declined. In the Paris AI Summit's declaration said AI needs to be more, quote, open, inclusive, transparent, ethical, safe, secure, and trustworthy, end quote. So we have like the world's elites coming together wanting to make like DEI AI, and Google wants to make weaponized AI. So I don't see any good things coming out of this AI stuff anytime soon.
And OpenAI shuttered their AI ethics board. Also, yeah, I don't know where this all goes.
And Elon Musk tried to buy out OpenAI from Sam Altman, and Sam Altman counter offered him and said, "I'll buy Twitter." So stupid stuff going on there. Who cares?
Right.
Wild,
right? It's like the technocrat bro version of like, you know, gambling too much at the saloon. Oh, I'll put Twitter on the table.
Oh, here it is. What Vance wants is he wants something he calls bias-free and uncensored AI. Okay.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
you know.
Can you handle it? Can you handle that kind of level of truth?
Yeah, well, sounds better than the alternative in some ways. Yeah, well, okay. So there you go. Whatever that means, Google. And what all do you consider weapons? I think that was my main question after we talked about it last week. Is like, what do you mean by weapon? Does that include weapons of mass disinformation, weapons of mass censorship? I mean, there's uh, weapons on board a quote unquote companion bot or a robo DJ. I don't know. I don't know.
And
All right.
meanwhile, the climate change scares are reducing, but they're still ramping up the bird flu thing. Enough so it's like, so we did talk about this briefly on the last episode about the egg shortage thing. But again, I just want to, if we didn't mention it or make the point is that all of these animals have been culled, not because of the like, we're not having trouble because the chickens actually got sick. No, it's because somebody PCR'd a river stream 5 miles away and said, oh, you got to kill your flock, you know? So it's the culling that's the problem. It's not the actual disease.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, don't buy the hype, folks. This stuff going on in the grocery stores right now. We saw that in one of our local stores the other night. Totally cleared out, signs on the doors, no eggs. Sorry about that. There is a mass extermination of food supply farm animals that's been going on for years now. We've covered the exact numbers on it on multiple broadcasts in the past. It's alarming. It's shocking. It's as alarming and shocking as the amounts of money that we're talking about that are being funneled into, causing us to be in cultural warfare against each other, disrupting, the fabric of family and education. It's all just so shocking and egregious, my friend.
I have a prediction about where that's going to lead us, since now we're big tech bros. It's like back in the day, they were like, oh, food scarcity, food problems, food this, that, this, it's harming the climate, yada, yada, whatever. And they wanted us to eat the bugs. Well, now we're going to have the food shortage thanks to whatever reason. It doesn't matter. Like, oh, we can't fix it now, folks. Sure, we exposed the fraud that they're like, but we killed too many of them. They're not coming back. It's the birds and the bees, the collapse, whatever. It's like too late to fix it. So, but don't worry, we're not going to make you eat the bugs. Luckily, this big tech bro right here, pull whoever onto the stage, has created the world's best lab created meat. You won't even tell the difference.
It's Gil Bates. Gil Bates comes on the stage in his lilac colored V-neck sweater, and there
He's
he
suddenly Republican. I think you're
Yeah.
onto something.
Yeah, there you go.
He has been saying nice things about Trump lately in the news.
Well, got to keep the art of the deal going. Got to keep those relationships up. Do your best, Gilly Bates. But I don't know about you guys, but we're on to Gil Bates. I think you probably are too. And yeah, I think we'll leave it there, Ruckus. Thanks so much, man.
Oh, one last thing. I wish I had the video for this one. I was really looking for it, but I'll just mention it in brief. Zelensky was on camera doing an interview with somebody, and he's talking about resources, how important it is. Now we have to protect Ukraine so that Russia doesn't get its juicy resources. Whoa, so wait a minute. This is no longer about democracy, says the guy who's suspended of an election now for over a year.
Yeah.
But it's not, though. This was really not about democracy at all. It's about protecting precious resources so that dirty, bad Putin don't get it. And then I guess Trump says he wants Kyiv to start paying them back with the precious resources. Yeah. All that aid that we gave them. Oh, you owe us. In fact, the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, said he personally delivered the demand from the U.S. president straight to Vladimir Zelensky himself. He went to Scott Bessent, that's the Treasury Secretary. He went to visit Ukraine. He hopped on a plane. For free, of course. It didn't cost the taxpayers a single dime. Anyways, he secured a deal ensuring that Washington gets a return on the billions of dollars it's invested in aid to Kyiv. I'm reporting from Russia today, by the way. Trump recently demanded the equivalent of $500 billion worth of rare earths from Kyiv in exchange for the more than $300 billion that we gave them. Thanks to Biden. So I guess we're gonna make a $200 billion profit if Zelensky follows through with the president's demands. We'll see.
Oh man, I remember talking with people on TNT about the resources there, and how people like Elon Musk would benefit from some of the resources there, and people that want to control the food supply.
Yes. What are the resources? I want to know. He doesn't say.
I believe they have deposits of lithium over there, and also
Weird.
grain. Yeah, grain and lithium are the two that I
And
can.
titanium. I don't know
Yeah.
what they do that. What do you use titanium for?
Oh, all kinds
Oh,
of
you
stuff.
build F-35s, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Weapons, F-35s, computer chip boards, all kind of fun stuff.
Computer chips, really neat.
Yeah. How about that? How about that as we enter the age of quantum computing? All right, cool.
Us.
Well, yeah, that's a good one. We'll put that on the show page if we can pull it up as a supplemental. So, yep. All right, Ruckus, Save Rounds, final thoughts. Let's do it.
No, that's it. I'm going to try to record a new Daily Ruckus tomorrow. It might not get out tomorrow. It might be over the weekend. I might push it up till Monday, but it is coming, and it's huge. It's kind of like 12 episodes in one episode, so bear with me. Trying to make it all fit in at least 3 hours max. I don't want it to be too long.
There you go. All right, excellent. Check out the Daily Ruckus.
I do have a special announcement. I will be guest hosting Weaponized News with Sam Chaney on Monday. So first time ever being on Weaponized News. Very much looking forward to that. They have a great weekly news program. I mean, weekday news program. It's at nighttime. So they're on every day, Monday through Friday. So if you miss the news throughout the day, I promise you, all you have to do is tune into Weaponized News and you are caught up and then some. And then if you stick around after the news, he always plays a really great, highly entertaining and informative old school documentary or conference speech. Good shit. He's been playing Money Masters. Remember the documentary Money Masters?
Yeah.
Yeah, he played that last night and tonight. So
That's
good shit
essential viewing
happening at
right there.
Weaponized News.
Yeah,
Check them out.
One. Yep, totally. All right, excellent. Yeah, shout out to Weaponized News. Love that program. It's got such a great vibe. You know, I love coming into it and getting my this day in history and kind of the overhead. It's a cool show. So we'll look forward to seeing you on there, Ruckus. That'll be great.
Yep. And then I'll see you guys around for either a Sunday Wire or Boiler Room next time. So thanks for having me.
All right.
May God bless each and every one of you, and God save this republic. Ruckus out.
All right. Thanks, Ruckus. And thank you for being here with us tonight. Everybody hanging out in the Discord, in the Rumble, in the Rockfin, and the YouTube chats. Listening to the podcast after the fact. Thanks for being here. We really appreciate your time listening to the show, watching the show. Thinking about, what we learned earlier in the program, or what was stated earlier in the program by Mr. Bovard in that article up there at Big League Politics on Substack. Let's think about that for just a second before we go. I'm going to read that quote again. Bovard stated in 2009 for an article at Future of Freedom Foundation that NED, quote, based on the notion that its meddling in foreign elections is automatically pro-democracy because the U.S. government is the incarnation of democracy. NED has always operated on the principle that what's good for the U.S. government is good for democracy. That, my friends, is what they were talking about when they were saying, that is the very definition of what they were saying about protecting democracy in Ukraine. That, not what you might think it meant, the ability to vote, the ability to speak, the ability to, do your own religious stuff the way you want. No, none of that. All that has been taken away, quite frankly, under Zelensky. So this is going to be very interesting to see how this one turns out. All right, this is Hesher on behalf of Alternate Current Radio and the Boiler Room. AlternateCurrentRadio.com is where you find us. Join our Patreon, please. This stuff is expensive and time-consuming to do. We appreciate your support. If you're one of those patrons, you're making this happen. Same with our Swear Jar donors. We really appreciate you. Hesher out. See you later. Peace.
That's it. Go ahead and run. Run home and cry to mama.